An inscription reads, General Vargas, who did whatever it took to save humanity. I don't really recall General Vargas using a hammer, but maybe he did.
Look out there.
Please, Miss Hackett. There's no reason to get so angry.
The hell there isn't! My people didn't start that fight. One of your rangers started it, and now you're telling me we gotta be the ones to give up our space?
I'm just saying. Oh, Team November, I'm glad you're here. There was an altercation in the barracks.
Why did the fight break out?
Greatski's recruitment efforts have gone well, and HQ is filling up. More new rangers every day, which is great for our mission, but it also means we're running out of beds in the barracks. Rangers are having to sleep in shifts. This is leading to friction with Miss Hackett's people, who, as you know, were there first. Some of the new rangers don't understand this, and they think of them as, well, freeloaders.
They are freeloaders.
Usually, it's just snide comments. But today, one of yours started shouting that we should be thrown out of our home before trying to pull Davy off his cot.
This is literally a military base, lady.
Which is completely unacceptable behavior. Unfortunately, the problem's not going to go away if we ignore it. We need a solution before things explode.
This wasn't the first incident?
There've been plenty. Most of your rangers are all right with us, but there's more than a few who ain't. Calling us names as they walk past, or telling us we're on borrowed time here, in our own home.
It's our home too.
Hackett, I'm embarrassed. Part of the oath we take as rangers is to protect the downtrodden. It hurts to hear that our recruits are failing to live up to that oath. Something must be done.
Yeah? Well, we're waiting.
We gotta get a handle on this one way or the other. Enough chaos going on outside the base. Don't need it when we get home, too.
Any suggestions for a fix?
Well, the warden here suggested we move into the brig. I suggested she shove that idea up her ass and leave us be.
It's actually a pretty good idea.
We were here first. We don't take up much space, and you said the barracks were ours when you first showed up.
Not the barracks specifically.
But things have changed since then, and they're not going to change back. If we're going to live side by side, we both have to be flexible.
Okay, here's our decision.
Shoot.
We have three options. One, I can kick them out. Two, we can compromise. Or three, I can just side with refugees.
You're siding with us? Wow. Thank you, Rangers.
The honorable choice, Team November, but it won't lessen the friction. I'm afraid we'll pay for this later.
It would seem the refugees have difficulty understanding the absolute necessity of good manners.
Yeah. Are manners that important?
Rangers, manners are what separates man from bedraggled beast. Why, the very implication of such a question. Let us both seek wisdom in the book of nauseatingly correct manners. Chapter 16, Pernicious Pleasantries, line 33. It is of the utmost importance that manners come from deep within your being. For if those pleasantries are ever false, your very soul will be consumed by your depraved rudeness to your fellow man. So you see, Rangers, manners are critically important in everything you do. I hope dearly that I have answered your question. Let us never speak of this again. Felicitations.
How's our reputation here holding up?
I would say your reputation has improved dramatically. I haven't heard an impolite word about Team November in quite some time. Quite some time.
May we see your goods?
Of course, Rangers. It would be impolite not to share such tremendous deals.
Yeah, I've got tremendous cash. So one of the first things I did is I made sure that one of my characters were leveling up barter. That'd be Allison, our support character. So with that barter skill, I can pretty much buy anything I want, which we'll just go ahead and do right now. Buy, buy, buy. So with my barter skill, make sure to get the perk that allows you to sell resources for much more money. It'll probably get nerfed in the future, but the current version of this, the perk gives you 50 times the dollars for the things you sell. If you look at the perk description and everything, it's all deliberately done that way.
How's it going out there, Marcelo? What's the radio telling you?
Wish I could say it was the same old petty crimes and barroom brawls, but it's not.
How so?
People are on edge these days. They hear how the Patriarch's sick, how his kids are crazy, and they're worried about the future. They can sense Colorado crumbling, and that starts them feeling every man for himself again. We gotta pull it back, Serge. We gotta turn the horses.
That's what we're here to do, Marcelo. That's what all of this is all about. Keep it up.
Thanks. I just hope it's enough. We don't want these refugees ending up on the streets. That sort of desperation can lead to criminal activity.
Goodbye.
Anytime.
Don't blame you for rescuing those refugees at the bazaar, but where are they gonna go? Now, what can I help you with?
They could just move into Little Vegas, but whatever.
I'll be here.
It's great to be here, Rangers. I love what you've done with the place. Now, what can I do for you?
How are you settling in?
Wonderfully. Thank you for asking. Your staff is so accommodating.
We'd like to ask your advice on political matters.
That's what I'm here for. How can I help?
So, I don't know if I've failed already or what, but if you ask, what do we need to do to remove the picture without bloodshed or chaos in the streets?
Sadly, I don't think a peaceful transition is possible anymore, Rangers.
He sounds a little frustrated, and conversation automatically ends. So this leads me to believe that this is actually a dynamic script, especially when you look at...
I understand your desire to help the refugees, but this fight is proof this isn't the way to do it. Now, what can I do for you? That's what I'm here for. How can I help?
That it becomes a second question. That's basically just like a repeat question, a later version of that same question. What else do we need to do to remove the patriarch peacefully? So I've tried things such as starting the new game several times.
Sadly, I don't think a peaceful transition is possible anymore, Rangers. These refugees can't be let into our city until they stop the violence. Now, what can I do for you?
Letting the synth go, not even touching the synth, not even touching any mission until I could get Gideon Reyes. I would just do the Guard of the Gods, and Little Vegas, and so that I could unlock the Broadmoor Heights, talk to Gideon Reyes, then use that to meet the refugees. If you go to the bazaar without meeting Gideon Reyes, the bridge is up. I don't know why Strednod, or whatever his name is, doesn't just have the bridge up if he doesn't want to be bothered. But anyways, yeah, the bridge is up if you haven't talked to Gideon Reyes, so you can't actually go in. You can't do anything yet. So you have to do Little Vegas before you can meet Gideon Reyes. And before you can enter Little Vegas, you have to remove the siege by clearing out the door seats at the Garden of Gods. Anyway, so I've tried things such as arresting Brygo into the Ranger cells. I've even let McTavish go, and he ends up dying anyways. You can get his mask in a random event. So, I don't know, I've not been able to get him to say anything other than peaceful transition is no longer possible.
That's what I'm here for. How can I help?
The way I figure it, at some point someone else will figure that out, and then they'll post it online, and maybe, you know, then I can always do it that way. But for now, what should we do if we want the Patriarch's wholehearted support?
That's an easy one. Do exactly what he says. Capture and hold his 3 rebellious offspring. And do it as swiftly and quietly as you can, without causing them any harm. I wouldn't say Saul loves his children, with the possible exception of Liberty, but he does consider them his to deal with. So, if you manhandle them or, God forbid, kill them, he will not be pleased, and your reward will be in jeopardy. Treat them with kid gloves, Rangers. Kid gloves.
If you ask about Brygo, it actually, for whatever reason, leads you to another question tree. I think it's a bug.
Why would you want to? The man is a thug and corrupter, and should have no place in this city.
What can you tell us about the Givers?
They are fools. But unfortunately, because they own Colorado's only oil fields, we have to suffer with them. They worship a dead president as a god and walk around talking and acting like they were cowboys out of a child's picture book of the Old West. Ridiculous people. Saul should have dealt with them years ago.
What can you tell us about the 100 Families?
Despite the Patriarch's belief that he built Colorado on his own, he couldn't have done it without the support of the 100 Families. He protects us, true, but without our money, he'd be protecting us with sticks and stones, not tanks and guns. We are the money and the power here, and the keepers of the values of our survivalist forebears. Strong alone, but stronger together, like the mountains. Anyone who intends to rule here would have to appease the families first.
What can you tell us about the refugees?
A regrettable byproduct of difficult times. I wish them well, but I'd advise you not to waste resources on them. They come and go and won't be able to assist with your ambitions.
What can you tell us about the Marshals?
Well...
Go on, Mr. Reyes. I can take it.
If you insist, Marshal Quan. The Marshals are our police force here in Colorado Springs, but let's say their focus isn't so much on solving crime as deterring it. Most problems are dealt with using the gun and the boot, rarely the head. They are also known to look the other way if enough money changes hands. Therefore, this is a town where help from the Marshals is for those who can pay for it. Those who can't, fear them. Was that a fair assessment, Marshal Quan?
Let's talk about something else.
Certainly.
Can you give us your thoughts on some of the factions we're dealing with?
I'm honored that you value my opinion. Go on.
So that was this right here.
Certainly.
I just wanted to gray out the line. Tell us your opinion, local big shots.
Who are you interested in?
Baron Brago?
I wish that man had never come here. His legitimate business is the Little Vegas, a casino and brothel downtown. But he also runs a criminal empire, selling drugs, weapons, and information to anyone who can pay, including our enemies. I think the Patriarch allowed him to stay because he thought the people needed entertainment. But the Little Vegas hardly qualifies. It's a lurid pit of lost wages and despair. Disgusting. As for the man himself, he wears all the trappings of class. Fine suits, shoes, jewelry, but he's a thug at heart, no matter how hard he tries to hide it. Who else are you interested in?
The Patriarch?
He is everything you have ever been told about him and more. A man who built a state with nothing but his bare hands and brute will. Even in his current state, he is dangerous. Indeed, I'd argue he's more dangerous now than he was in his youth. A man who is terrified of losing his place in the world will do anything to keep it. Anything. I loved him once. Worshipped him. Now I just fear him. Fear what he could do to Colorado if he continues to unravel. Who else are you interested in?
Victory Buchanan?
Stay away from him if you can. Victory Buchanan isn't sane. He's a spoiled, homicidal brat who needs to be put down like a rabid dog. Not that I would condone murder, Marshal.
No, of course not. That would be illegal.
Forgive me. I shouldn't have. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. People who spend too much time in Victory's presence don't live long. Who else are you interested in?
Valor Buchanan.
I've always felt a bit sorry for Valor. Book smart and quiet in a family where neither of those things were valued. But he grew up a peevish young man, always alert to slights, whether real or imagined. He ended up believing he was better than everyone else because he was misunderstood. That's why he stays with the Gippers, I think. They understand him. Or at least pretend to. Who else are you interested in?
Liberty Buchanan.
She was a terrifying little girl and grew up to be a terrifying woman. I have never known anyone so able to focus or so certain of their path. She believes she is destined to rule Colorado and will not stop until she succeeds. But if she succeeds, woe to us all. Colorado will become a war machine, and all us citizens merely fuel for its ever-grinding engines. Who else are you interested in?
Sheriff Daisy?
Well, Reyes?
Well, I would say Sheriff Daisy is a woman to be both admired and feared. She is fair, but doesn't forget. And she is slow to forgive.
You could say that again.
Who else are you interested in?
Goodbye.
Safe travels, Rangers.
Nice place they got here. Classy. I think somebody pissed on the floor right here. What kind of disgusting animal do a thing like that? It's terrible. Huh. Why are my pants wet? Huh? Who's that? Rangers? What are you doing here? I heard you was off in Colorado or somewhere. Well, welcome back. Well, this calls for a drink. Cheers. Oh, good stuff. Is that you, Rangers? Boy, I ain't seen you in a donkey's age. This calls for a drink. Cheers! Hey, who drank my squeezins? What kind of a place is this?
Hate to tell you this, but you're showing signs of late-stage liver disease.
What do you know? I ain't had a liver for years.
We're not back from Colorado. We're still in Colorado. You're in Colorado.
You're drunk. If we was in Colorado, there'd be snow all over the place, and you'd all be wearing parkas. You gotta cut back on the squeezings.
Who are you, and what are you doing in our bar?
Come on, Rangers! You know me. It's Scotchmo, your pal. I fought Coach Chase with you. I helped you beat all them damn robots.
Sorry, Scotchmo, that was Team Echo. We're Team November.
You can't fool me with that stuff. I know who you are.
How did you get here?
What do you mean, how did I get here? I've been here the whole time. How did you get here? You got a screw loose.
Well, you're welcome to stay. Have a drink.
Well, don't mind if I do. Cheers! But I ain't here to drink, nuh-uh. I'm here to sign up. I want to be a ranger again, just like before. I know you Rangers have been going through hard times, so I'm doing my patriotic duty and offering my services as a tired and true veteran. What do you say?
Thank you, Scotchmo. We'd be honored to have you. Welcome aboard.
Hot diggity! Give me a gun and point me at the bad guys. I'm... ready. Lead on, Rangers!
Let's take a look at him. He's level 15 Hobo. He's got quirk weighted squeezing, which is a normal quirk, but he's got a special background Hobo, status effect resistance plus 10%. Apparently, I'm 7 levels higher than when he normally joins the party. And he's using a blade he's not capable of holding. That's a level 3 blade, he's only got level 2. Alright, so with him and Belle, actually, the two of them combined can replace Mockingjay if I needed to. So for example, Mockingjay doesn't have a lot of skill points because she's spread very thinly with all that stuff, but with this, he can just bump his lockpicking to max, and she can bump her mechanics near max and so forth. Things like that are worth considering. Okay, so status effect resistance. Is there a stat that gives status effect resistance? Okay, coordination. Let's pump you up to coordination. There you go. Now you will be like nearly, well, not 45% status effect resistance is what he's got now. Again, it's probably not the best thing to do, but I'll make it work. My point is to try to make each companion character extra strong in whatever category that their background is in. No real reason other than to see what happens when you leverage a character for far more than is normally allowed. So, let's see what else. What else should we get him? He's going to be a shotgun user, so maybe he needs speed so he can get in close and flank the enemy.
There should always be room for few more people at the dinner table. I'm glad you let the refugees stay.
You missed the bazaar?
No, not at all. There are so many wonderful people here who truly appreciate my cooking and actually chew before swallowing.
Heard any rumors around the mess hall?
There are a lot of people saying good things about the Rangers, but especially about November. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
What's cooking, Masato?
Only the best ingredients for my Rangers. It's hard to bring Colorado together with the stomach full of bitter rations.
Oh, even if I don't really plan on using any of this, I'm just going to buy up everything from the store. Currently, it looks like merchants only seem to restock when an event happens that says something about that along those lines, or when you have purchased everything. So in the case of a merchant with a skill book, you buy everything, and then you come back to reload the map and it'll have those skill book again. I don't imagine that'll need to utilize that. But yes, money is always a superpower. A card propped on this fancy chair reads, "The throne of Flab the Inhaler." There's a plaque next to this garish statue. Well, I mean, I don't think you can let me read the... Oh, it just continues. A statue of the Payaso Rojo, recovered from the bazaar.
Keep letting me know what you've done, and I'll keep creating displays that memorialize the history you're making.
Don't worry about me. I can lick my way.
I done nothing wrong and you know it.
I know you did what you did with the best of intentions, but it still broke the laws of Colorado.
Yeah? And what else could I have done?
You could have asked for assistance, gone through proper channels.
And what channels would those be? Name one that would have helped those people.
Well,
I thought so.
it's true. It sometimes takes the law a while to catch up with justice, but you just have to keep prodding it.
Ha! Like I'm gonna prod Saul Buchanan's carbunkled backside while there's innocent people dying out east every day. You're a good woman, Hope, but you gotta wake up.
I think you're the one who has to wake up. You were endangering a lot of people just by trying to get them into the city, and the city itself doesn't mean it's going to be safe.
Rangers, your decision to allow the refugees to remain in the barracks was an admirable one, but it's caused considerable dissent among the recruits. Fortunately, the situation hasn't escalated into violence, but Sergeant Greatsky has had his hands full keeping the two groups apart. What can I do for you? Mama Cotter has been a little difficult. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I know anyone that uncompromising about their ideals.
Let me introduce you to Angela Death.
I don't even think she's that wrong. She just went about it badly. Protecting and helping the weak and unfortunate? That is certainly a form of justice. But she did break the law. So many times, and would have undoubtedly continued. I fear the marshals would have killed her for that, regardless of her good intentions. Good luck out there.
Who are you looking at?
You ever miss driving fastback?
Not much. But it was fun when I was young. Getting to see the country, getting in scrapes, off the hills for the long hauls. But it got old after a while. Too much sitting, too much time with my own thoughts, too much bad food and worse company.
Are you kidding? Bad food and worse company is what you got here. I mean, I'm great company, but wrench?
Oh yeah, you're a little ray of sunshine. The annoying little sister I never had.
On the other hand, sometimes being alone wasn't so bad.
Never got a chance to thank you properly for saving Nita. I don't know what I would have done if I lost her too. I was thinking on how I could show my thanks and realized I work with cars day in and out, and you all take them into battle. There's a lot of things I learned about how to fix cars and how to break them. Here, let me show you.
Hope that's not all you got for us.
Yeah, of course. I've been working with your folks here, and we already have some new stuff for you. See you around.
I may load it, because I don't know if I want that perk right now. It's a good perk, I'm sure, but the issue is, will that apply to other characters that are not in the party right now? So let's try it. Let's check this out. Let's go ahead and remove Mockingjay, and we'll just add Tycoon. Yeah, Tycoon does not have that perk. What if I talk to you now? I don't know if I'll ever have to recreate these characters. I don't know if I'm going to create warrior characters towards the end. I don't know if the companions I have are the ones I'm going to keep. I will refrain from talking to him for now. Yeah. So the one time you talk to him is when those characters get the perks. So you don't want to talk to him until you're solidified your characters.
I feel like I'm walking on eggshells the whole time now.
Yeah, I'm afraid to fart too loud in case it starts an international incident.
International incident? Dude, your farts are a war crime.
We just gotta stop thinking of it as an us versus them situation.
Huh? How the fuck else are we supposed to think about it?
Everybody who lives in the barracks is us, and there is no them.
Man, you got some weird ideas.
Klein, you got your head on straight.
Hope you catch that victory kid soon, before he hurts somebody.
I done nothing wrong and you know it.
I know you did what you did with the best of intentions, but it's Rangers. What can I do for you? But she did break the good luck out there.
Just 'cause you're doing right by the refugees now, don't make you a saint, you little side-winding snake shits.
Don't worry about me. I can lick my way to wildcats.
There should always be room for few more people. No, not. There are only the best ingredients for my rangers.
Kid Victory sounds like a bad apple.
Since it's time consuming and there's no real meaning to it, that's why I don't really show inventory management. Just know that I can afford anything I want to with my extremely high bartering skill.
Anyone object to me taking this little doohickey home? It's broke, but I think I could tinker with it.
Wouldn't be.
Hey, Rangers. Good to be here. We're the mechanics Gideon Reyes sent. Don't mind the mess. We're still settling in.
How are you finding the accommodations?
We've had to make do with worse. In all honesty, though, this is a good space. Lots of room. Lots of supplies in reach. Give it a few more days and we'll give you a garage that'd make Steel Town go green with envy.
Let's see what you have for sale.
Of course. Let's see if we can find what you want.
Now this I do need to show my vendor purchase because I need this deliverer chassis. Well, I can also get this one, but realistically we're gonna go ahead and just sweep up everything. No, I didn't bring you any candies. Oh yeah, and then there's the vault. The door guarding this vault is enormous and recessed into the walls, floors, and ceiling. It appears that it can only be opened with a numeric keypad on the wall several feet away. Enter the number La Perla told you. You enter the code and press enter. The door begins to slide open. Initial command approach recognized. Secondary authorization required at primary access point. The war room. Clear access for Commander's Armory. Dual authorization protocol accepted. Vault unlocking. Alright, let's start looting these things. I might have to do each stuff more than once. It doesn't look like this gear is randomized at all. It seems to be the same each time. Or at least I've only ulted them like 4 times. Also, I noticed that I'm missing the NPC. I don't know what, the Provost, that's right. I'm missing him because I went to manage my squad and he was probably attached to Mockingjay or something. When I started removing parts of my other squad, he stopped following me, and when I removed Mockingjay, he just disappeared entirely.
Not much. It was fun when I was young. You had to see the country getting its scrapes, popping pills for the long hauls. But it got better. Too much sitting, too much time with my old thoughts, too much bad food, worse company.
Are you kidding? Bad food and worse company is what you got here. I mean, I'm great company. But wrench?
Oh, yeah, you're a little ray of sunshine. The annoying little sister I've never had.
On the other hand, sometimes being alone wasn't so bad.
But, so what I've decided to do is I went ahead and redid the Warrens, and I've left the Provost there, locked in his cell. And when it's time to turn in his quest, I will collect the Provost.
2X2L, calling CQ. Is there anyone on the air? Is there anyone on the air? Is there anyone? 2X2L!
Marcel, are you asleep? Why don't you answer?
Giving Brygo to the Marshals means they'll get the credit for bagging him. Should have brought the glory home to us.
Well, maybe I'll do that in the next playthrough.
Now, what can I help you with? Anytime, Rangers. Always happy to tell war stories. How about a monster army story? Now, I know the monsters seem like a joke now, but back then, they were terrifying. Word of their coming would send whole towns running for their lives. Well, Saul decided to take advantage of that. So we went and waited in the houses of a village that had emptied out and watched as the monsters all roared into the town square to proclaim their arrival and demand tribute like they always did. As we covered him from the doors and windows, he strode out, head high and hammer in hand, and challenged the leader, a 7-foot bruiser they called the Gorgon, to a duel. To be honest, I didn't think it was gonna work. I thought those psychos would shoot him in the back and leave us without a leader. But the Gorgon waved him down, and him and Saul went toe to toe, while us and the monsters all just watched. I'd never seen Saul torn up so bad, red from head to toe. But finally he got in one good swing and took the Gorgon's head clean off. That's when the monster started shooting, but we still had him covered, so we beat him to the punch.
Goodbye.
I'll be here.
I think I got about 2 levels extra by wandering the world map. My party average is now level 17, with Mockingjay being level 18. The reason why she stays ahead is because I go ahead and I leave her with the hat for extra charisma, which will give her a slight bonus to experience, and with the badge that gives 5% experience.
Citizens of Colorado, this is your patriarch. Have you ever thought how privileged you are? How fortunate? You live in the greatest state in America. Indeed, it could be said that Colorado is the only America. But that is a sad and lonely state of affairs. Colorado should not be alone. It should be one of many states, all prosperous and free, and enjoying the life we fortunate few are beginning to take for granted. That is why the torch of liberty that we have lit here must light other torches in other states and territories, so that the flame of civilization spreads far and wide and makes the world a kinder, more welcoming place. Trade must be established, and democracy must be encouraged, while corruption and rule by fiat must be wiped out. We cannot stand alone against barbarism, so we must grow the allies we need, or we will perish. Thank you, Colorado, and good night. This has been your Patriarch, signing off.
Fallen trees and rubble mostly obscure this collapsed bunker. You could get in if you are willing to crawl on your hands and knees. From the look of it, Someone or something has been doing just that. Look around more carefully to survey the situation. You spot numerous scratches on rocks and logs around the bunker. Something, or many of the somethings, have been sharpening their talons. However, there's no fresh signs of activity around the bunker entrance. Crawling into the bunker, you spot signs of animals nesting, including boxes torn apart for bedding. A few boxes in this bunker remain untouched. There are other rooms, but the doors are locked. Pick the locks. Despite being behind locked doors, the elements have permeated this storeroom. You pick through the containers for unspoiled goods and gather them up. Luckily, you were fast enough, and quiet enough, to be in and out before whatever lives here came home. A quick and easy haul. An Arapaho cube truck and its escort cars are making a delivery at a fortified farmhouse. The driver looks around as you approach.
You're the Patriarch's new hires, right? The Desert Rangers. Got some stuff to trade if you want to look.
We hear that Arapaho are the best mechanics in Colorado. Would you mind looking at our Kodiak?
Well, I ain't the best mechanic in Colorado, but how can I say no after a thorough ass-kissing?
Any highway wisdom for us, friend?
Maintain your vehicle and don't stop if you don't have to. These days, a flat tire or a stalled engine could be the end of you, consumed by the elements. And I don't just mean the weather, if you get me.
Show us what you got.
Just some odds and ends I've taken in trade. Might be useful.
A group of robots are all digging in the ground like they are looking for something. The task has their full attention. You get into a flanking position without the robots noticing. Time to strike. Okay, just a bunch of slicer dicers. I don't even know if they can climb, or no, actually, you know what? It doesn't even matter if I'm up here, because there was a battle I was in where like a droll was down here and just slashed at Logan or something. So I don't know, maybe that's just a one-off thing, but
Sorry!
nice.
If you're looking for trouble, you found it. Right, guys?
Probably should have started with that, but it's alright. So yeah, they apparently cannot reach me.
Gotcha.
Spotted.
I feel like sometimes my strike disappears because I thought she had a full strike ability, but maybe not.
I see him.
Darn.
Come on, guys. Let's get it in gear.
That was a pretty good outcome for me. No damage. Okay, this is where I want to actually go, so maybe this is not taking me there. It might. But let's try the other side then. I'm clicking on it. Seriously, I'm right-clicking and left-clicking on it. Whatever, game. I wanted to avoid this path because I didn't want to get...
Looks like, Maybelle got out of her pen last night. If anybody sees her, throw a rope around her neck and bring her back to the house, okay? Sorry for the trouble. Can't still figure out how she picked the dang lock.
Because I was looking to avoid the cannibal transmission. If I unlock the cannibal transmission, we will go ahead and try to succeed at that battle. I probably can at this point, because last time I was like level 5 or something. A gaunt man in an overloaded old truck stares at you as you approach. His gaunt family sits beside him.
Howdy, name's O'Leary. Say, you're them Rangers, the saviors of the refugees. Boy, are we glad to see you. In fact, was gonna donate this at your HQ when we got to CO Springs, but you're here, so here you go. Anyway, we ain't ate in a while. Was hoping we could trade you some things for money to eat.
He rummages behind his seat, then hands you a duffel. You refugees haven't been given a fair shake. We're going to take care of you.
Well, that's good to hear, Rangers. Thank you. We'll spread the word in the camps.
How are things out east?
Worse every day. Haven't seen a marshal out our way for over 2 years. It's like the Patriarch abandoned us.
Sure, let's trade.
Oh, thank you.
So like random encounters, I'll probably only show like the first time I see a merchant's gear, just so you can have an idea of what kind of items he might have. But in general, just assume that I'm gonna buy out everything he's got. I don't know how much ammo I have, and I'm probably never gonna run out. But I just go ahead and just collect everything I can get. It's like basically finding loot on the ground, you might as well pick it up.
November, come in. We're getting a faint signal in your area. Hold one moment as I narrow it down. Here we go.
If anyone can hear me, the elves are in danger. We need help. Seta has been... He's a tyrant.
The voice cuts out. HQ, did you copy that?
Negative, Team November. I did not copy. I definitely did not hear an elf cry out for help from the tyranny of Santa Claus. Just kidding, Team November. Sending you the coordinates of the signal. Hopefully it's not as bad as it sounds. Over.
New mission, Elf Hunter Shop. Locate the distressed elf at Santa's workshop. A charming little fake village that used to be a Christmas-themed tourist trap before the apocalypse.